Hello, crafty cuties. We are on a new camera, so I really hope that the settings are right for this first video. Please do let me know how it looks down below. It might take me some time to get used to it. So here we go. We are going to do December daily process day 2. That was a lot of words all jumbled around, but I think you get what I'm saying. Here is the first day because I wasn't able to finish it on camera. So I just wanted to give you a quick look. And I do need to figure out a way to kind of keep this together, and I'll probably just have a clip down here, but this is how it turned out. And I still haven't even done my journaling because I spent almost the rest of that day trying to figure out my phone. I had such problems with it, but now I have the camera set up, so that will be okay. And then it just all slides back together. Again, I'll just need a clip. And then over here, I just have a picture that slides out on the side. It was just an extra picture of Arlo looking at the tree. So, and then there's the picture over here in this pocket. Okay, but let's get on to day 2. Oh, see, yeah, here. We'll use this clip for now. For day 2, I am going to be pulling out my little folder here. This is how I organize things when I have something maybe for a couple days ahead, because I do that. And so this is my little folder stuff for day 2, and I have pictures of special ornaments. We get new ornaments every year, and so I have the pictures printed out, and I have a bunch of other goodies to go along with it that I may or may not use. I do know that I want to use this as my base page, so let's go ahead and I'm gonna actually just move the journal away, because again, I'm going to be crafting on the actual base page rather than in the journal. So I'm just going to trim this down. Oops, I got a mess going on. To 5 inches, and I think it's by 7.5 for me. Okay, so I'm gonna use this wood grain paper here, and I'm just gonna eyeball that. Should be okay like that. Okay. So, like I said, I have photos that I want to use, and so I'm gonna go ahead and cut these out. So the pictures, I have 2 pictures of their ornaments. Hopefully you can see that even with the glare. And then I also have 2 pictures on that same day. They painted and made a couple ornaments. So I know that I want to use these 2 for sure, but I may add those in, and I'm not too sure on that. I have a 2, I don't know if I'll use that, but I grabbed it just in case. Now I have these cutout ornaments, and I was thinking of somehow placing them on the page. They're really pretty. They're like die cuts that I got from some Happy Mail, and possibly hand stitching like a line up the top. I don't usually hand stitch, and I could use my sewing machine, but I thought it would be kind of fun. But I need to figure out how these would flip, if they even would, and then add the pictures. I don't have Photoshop, so I don't print my pictures out exactly the exact shapes that I need, but I think I'm gonna do that. So let me sketch out a little line that we would need to hand stitch. I have this one too, but I think these work best. So let's see if I can figure out, zooming you guys in a bit. Like I said, I'm getting used to the camera, so bear with me till I get used to it. I'm gonna take this, and I think this placement is good for this one. And actually maybe over just a touch, I don't mind if it hangs off and it will be kind of like a tab. I just didn't want it to line up with that wood grain too much, but I'm gonna go up through the middle like that. I think that will be okay. I'm not worried if it's perfect, but I want to get an idea. And I'm doing that in pencil, so that will be there. And then this one will just be a short little line up to the top. Now I'm going to poke some holes with my awl just to make the hand stitching a little bit easier. So I'm just going to take an old book and go like that. Now I know you can't really see the lines on here, but I don't want to draw them too dark. Sorry, dropped my awl. I don't want to draw them too dark just because I don't want them to show up. But I'm just going to go ahead and take my awl and just go poke a little hole, probably every 1/4 or 1/8 of an inch. I'm not going to measure, and I don't care if it's perfect. I'm going to Also, then I will sew in the twine that I'm going to use, and I think it's called a back stitch, but I'm just going to go ahead and show you what it will be. We'll do that one. That looks fine to me. And then we'll do this one. Now, at first I was going to use this natural colored, and by the way, I'm not poking this too big of a hole because the needle's probably not very big, but I was going to use a natural colored twine, but then I thought since it's on this wood, that's probably not going to show up, so I'm going to go ahead, and I just found like kind of a green color, an army green, I guess. And so I'm all for having lots of colors or classic colors. Like, I kind of switch it up. It depends. Every year is a little bit different for me. I don't have rules. I just like to do what I'm feeling that day, and every day is different. So in the end, my journals don't end up being very matchy, but I think that's fun because I don't think that's just kind of not my style. However, I love it. I do love it. Okay, so we'll start out by sewing those on. Try to show this to you. Now, like I said too, I don't have an exact plan for if the pictures are how they're going to be showing up, but I do know I'll want them underneath the ornaments. I want you to be able to flip them up somehow. So, oh my goodness, I just went all the way through. So I'm going to just go ahead and do one of these lines on camera here, and then I'll do the rest off camera. I'm gonna try my hardest to make these videos just not too long for you guys, but oh my gosh, but cut out enough of that nonsense. Okay, it looked a little dark, so I tried to change the settings, and I really hope that's okay. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead. I had to re-thread this thing like 25 times just a minute ago. Anyways, so I'm gonna just go through one hole like that, and then I'm gonna come back up the next hole like that. But instead of going down to the next one, we would have spaces, which that's fine if you like that look. I'm gonna actually go back up to the previous hole, and that's gonna give us like a running stitch, I guess you would call it. And then again, you're gonna go back down to the next open hole. But I'm sure you guys, most of you probably know how to do this, but I just want to give you a little peek, because a long time ago when I was starting out sewing, I was like, wait, how do I get that space not showing? So I'm just gonna continue this. I do like this color. I'm glad that I went with this color over the natural. And so I'm just gonna continue on. It's really actually hard for me to sew behind the camera. So I'm gonna finish this line and the next line, and then we can move on to adding the ornaments. Okay, so we're just about done. Now, I realized that maybe I could just go ahead and sew this on, and I think that will make it easy enough that it will be able to flip up. However, this ornament has a split. They all do, because I think they were supposed to be like, you put them together and they're supposed to become like a 3D ornament. I'm not really sure. But so what I'm gonna do is poke a hole on each side, and actually that's gonna make it much easier to flip anyways. So let's go ahead, and I'll just kind of eyeball that and hope that I don't go all the way through. And then that's actually gonna kind of sew that shut also. So. Let's do that. Then if we have that on, we'll be one step closer to being able to add everything else to the layout. So let's go up through here. I think that's gonna work out, at least. A lot of times I have these ideas in my head and I'm like, I think that's gonna work, but you know, I don't know. Yep, and then back through, and then I think I can just go ahead, get it tight enough, and then go back through the hole to the back, and then we can start the second one, I think. Let's just kind of test it out. I do just want to make sure. I mean, yep, that will definitely be fun. So we can easily flip that up, and then we'll have the ornaments or something on the back. So I'm going to go ahead and do the other side. And then for some reason, this one actually has a little hole there. So I'm just going to go ahead and sew around like that for this one. And I am noticing that the focus is changing quite a bit, so I'll have to work on that. I don't know if I need to set it up to autofocus or what, but I hope that there's not going to be a ton of clips that are out of focus for you guys. We'll get there though, I promise. So now I'm just tying this off on the back, and I love messy stitching on the back of things when you do a hand stitching, so I'm not planning to cover this up. I'll just trim this right here, and then we can finish off our layout. So let's add the photos now. And also let me know, guys, a lot of times I don't cut parts out just because I wasn't able to I didn't ever have space on my phone. So let me know, do you like me cutting out the nonsense? Do you want me to keep everything in? I would love your feedback on that. Okay, so now, like I said, I want to go ahead, I think I'm going to put Arlo's on this and then Alistair's on this. And so when you flip it up, I want it to be right side up. And so I do need to trim these down a bit. I need to figure out Photoshop, to be quite honest, because it would be nice to be able to print things out like the exact shape of what I'm working with, but that's okay for now. I'm gonna want a little bit of journaling. Okay, so I think I'm gonna adhere this down and then I'll just trim the sides off of that. I'll just go ahead and do that now so that we can get that one done. So I just added some glue on the back, and so try not to get glue on the picture so it doesn't stick to the page there. Okay, and then I'm just gonna take my scissors and, like I said, I'll just trim off the edges there. And honestly, I am okay with things not being exactly perfect, but again, it would be nice to have to avoid all the random trimming. Okay, there we go. So we have Allie's, and so you'll flip it up, and then that's there. And then Arlo's, same thing. We want to do that. And I think I'll just trim hers down a tiny bit. And I think hers actually fits all the way without trimming. I'm just rubbing that in a bit so that it's not too much extra glue. And hers actually fits right on like that. Okay, so we have that done. We could stop here, but of course I want to do a little bit of journaling. Okay, so I almost forgot that I have a few more things that I was possibly going to use. The number 2, which now that I'm looking at this, it's too big. I might want a number 2 down here, but this just doesn't go with it, I don't think. I also had these extra pictures that were of the handmade ornaments, and it's just kind of like they came on the same day. So I'm thinking, I was planning to do a little bit of journaling underneath here. However, maybe I'll just go ahead and add those pictures. Arlo's on her side and Allie's on his. Trim them down a bit. And then I have this pocket side over here that I really wasn't sure what to do with, and so I can stick some journaling over here. I also have the packaging to their ornaments. That's not the right one, but right here. They're very bulky, but I think I might just go ahead and cut down maybe parts of them, and then I can actually put them inside this pocket. But what do I want to do to this? So let's go ahead, and then I'll add the pictures in a minute, but I want to see how that looks together. Now I like this print, but it actually ends up going. However, since I want some journaling, I pre-made this in one of my videos. It's an ornament shaker. If you want to check that out, I'll try to remember to put the video down below. I was thinking it almost fits perfect just to put it here, and I feel like it matches really well, but also brings in some of the classic colors, which, you know, I said I like to mix and match a little bit. And then it flips up, and so I can stick something in here, or I could just do my journaling on the back of this, which you can't really see. I think I'm gonna go that route. But one other thing is I had this vintage paper, super duper vintage, and it has some ornaments, but as much as I wanted to add, I don't think it goes with this. So I'll save it, and it can definitely be used in a different layout. Let's go ahead and do that. So first of all, I'll just adhere down these photos, and let's see, for Arlo's, I think I'm gonna have to trim it just a bit. Okay, so I adhered the photos. I feel like my lighting is just a little off here, but you can flip those now and see both. And so now we're gonna go ahead and attach to the page here. I'm actually just gonna go ahead and it's covering this entire page, so I will just add glue all over. I get a lot of questions if when I'm using printer paper in my journals as kind of a base or like gluing heavier papers down on it, do I ever experience any problems? And I don't. I really have never. I looked back in my journals that are 5 years old, and I've always done this where I'll adhere something much heavier down to printer paper or coffee dyed paper, and I don't know if it's the glue that I use. This Tombow mono glue dries somewhat hard. This is my pictures for day 3. Anyways, and so I don't know if that has something to do with it, but I have never had any problems. So there we go. Okay, get that back in place there. I think once everything dries down, that'll be pretty secure. Okay, so next we have this, and I'm so glad I already crafted it, and so it's ready to go. I did journaling, and I also put the date stamp, and I used this date stamp right here, which I absolutely love, with my Distress Oxide in Cracked Pistachio. Okay, so I'm just gonna go ahead and add a tiny bit of glue to the inner flap here, and I'm just gonna put this down into the pocket. So technically this is still a pocket, so if I want to add anything else, there is space for that. But as of right now, I don't think I have anything. Oh wait, duh. I wanted to add some of the packaging, so that's what I'll put in the pocket. So basically, here we go. This is it. Super fun, and I do have this space here too, but again, I don't think I need to add anything there yet. I did want to add a number, didn't I? So I realized I have no alpha stickers with numbers, but I did find this too, and I think I liked it, although it's just a bit too dark, so maybe I can use my Distress Oxide ink. Let's see how that will work. It is kind of a chalky ink, so I'm curious how that will go. Okay, I'm just gonna go ahead and try to get a generous amount. I'm not worried if this is going to make it opaque or not, and I don't think it's going to, but maybe it'll kind of dull down the black a bit. I don't know. We'll find out. It does. You know what? I could emboss on top of it too, but that's such a thing. I don't think I care that much. Let's see. Now I'm gonna have to let this dry a bit because the this ink does take a bit. I don't know. I'm fine with that. It dulled it down just enough. So we'll glue that down. I went ahead and embossed this in gold off camera because the ink was just, it was not setting, and I didn't feel like looking for something to set it with, and I didn't want it to get on the lace. So I did emboss that off camera. It's a bit bumpy, but I like it, and I think it looks much better. So we're gonna go ahead and glue that down. And the reason I didn't film it was because I was like, well, let me see if this will work, kind of thing. And then I had to go over to a different area and all that. So I just used my gold embossing powder, and it worked just great. Okay, so we'll put that to right there. I like that. Now I was going to use a gold star at first, or some gold stars. However, now that I have that in gold, I don't know, even next to it, it kind of seems like it's supposed to be like a 20. So let me poke out these little other little pieces, and then maybe this will actually look good like up here. Okay, and I found these gold stars when I was looking for numbers, and they came in like a unicorn paper, or a unicorn sticker set that Felicia gifted me in some Happy Mail a while back. So I'm glad that I found those, because actually now I'm gonna add a few more. I like how those look. I feel like it finishes it off really great, and I don't ever use stickers, but I'm glad that I found these. We'll do one here, and then maybe we'll do one over here. And I'm probably doing overkill on these stars, but I forgot I had them, and they look so darn cute. And then I think we're done with this layout here. Okay, I like how that looks. So yeah, I hope that it wasn't too all over the place. Zoom you back out here. And I will see you guys in the next video. Bye guys.